Hey everyone, this video is for English 4, my hybrid and virtual students. We're going to talk about theme for a little bit. And so you should be able to see my screen. I'll look at this video at the end to make sure. But this will be the presentation that everyone will be getting in class Monday the 31st. So looking at theme, you're going to hear the word theme a lot this year. And you will often ask to identify the theme of the work. Moreover, you will be asked what tools is an author using in a work to communicate that theme. So we need to define what theme is. Theme is what the work is saying about the human condition, i.e. what it means to be human. And I would revise that just a little bit to say what it means to be human in the circumstances that maybe the novel or the book or the movie or whatever presents to you. And so, for example, if you're reading a work about maybe someone immigrating to the United States, like in The Kite Runner, that's not necessarily a universal theme, because not all of us have immigrated to the United States, but the theme of that, while it may not be universal, it can still teach you something about the human condition, in that what would it be like to be someone who immigrated to the United States. And so that's usually what theme is getting at. It's getting at those deeper connective ideas in regards to humanity. And so while a theme can be broad, it isn't always universal, as I just said. And then, of course, once you identify a theme, the next question is to ask about the elements of the story that communicate it best. Is it character actions, character dialogue? Is it symbolism? Are there motifs at play? Really, anything goes. If it helps point a big arrow towards the theme, one of the themes that the author is hoping that you will understand, then it's fair game. And so I said this last week, but it's worth mentioning again. Theme is never a one-word statement. I know that perhaps in 8th or 9th grade, when you looked at theme, it was a quick one-word loss, or the theme of loss, the theme of death, the theme of overcoming a challenge. Once you get to AP English 4, and once you get to the college level, your theme needs to be a complex statement. It can't just be, again, death or loss. I'll give you an example from Chinua Achebe's novel Things Fall Apart. I know that hopefully many of you have read it. If you haven't, it's an excellent book. It's one of my favorites. But I'm going to read this thesis statement. In Things Fall Apart, Achebe uses the symbol of Okonkwo's broken gun and its accidental killing of a child to communicate the idea that a lack of self-acceptance, especially denying one's past, is dangerous to all involved. Now, if you wanted to communicate that theme, that a lack of self-acceptance is dangerous to all involved, you could use that moment where Okonkwo's broken gun explodes and kills a child. You could also talk about his actions in relation to escaping his past, escaping the what I would say the ghost of his father, rather to say the memory of his father. You could also talk about his violent actions towards his wives and his children. All of these things help communicate the idea that a lack of self-acceptance is dangerous to all involved. So let's talk about what theme, I said what theme was. Let's talk about what theme is not. Theme is also not a directive. It is not a moral, and it is definitely not a cliche. You should know what a cliche statement is by this point, but your theme will never be any of those. So let's look at one of them. Don't love someone who is unwilling to reciprocate that love. That statement is a directive. It's giving you instructions. It is telling the reader what to do. In this case, it is telling the reader what not to do. So the word do should not appear at the beginning of the theme, because once it does that, it is a directive, it is instructions. And a piece of literature is not giving you instructions. There's not a directive that it's saying, hey, go do this. It's not a self-help book. It's not saying that go do these things and live your life. The next one is those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. The word should is an indicator that this is a moral. And anytime, if you're writing a theme statement and the word should appears, then you don't want to you don't want to use that, because again, that's a moral, and you're not trying to give someone not trying to teach someone a lesson here, or teach someone a moral lesson. That last statement too, about those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, is painfully cliche. So that that statement accomplishes two birds. That hits two birds with one stone. That statement's also a cliche. So we're getting a little bit wild here. Um, Anyway, when identifying theme, much like rhetoric from English 3, you have to look at everything the author is saying, doing, and using. Everything is fair game. Figurative language, the tools, metaphor, imagery, diction, symbolism, any of those. Literary elements like tone or character actions, dialogue, switching between character points of view. That was something that I told my students last year when it came to the AP exam. When in doubt, look at what the characters are doing. What are the characters doing and what are the characters saying? Because oftentimes that is the author's primary tool, is making the characters do or say or act in a way that points to a theme. So, if you're I don't want to say afraid, but maybe you're digging for metaphor, or you're looking for motif, or you're looking for some really rich symbolism, and you're just not finding it, character action. Always go with that. So in your writer's notebook, I want you to use Hidden Figures as an example. I want to see if you can come up with a theme. And even though the movie itself is considered a work of nonfiction because it's based on a true story, there are fictionalized elements within that film. So you can still treat it like a work of fiction when it comes to analyzing theme through character action and dialogue. You're probably not going to find a whole lot of symbolism or motif, because those things are put into a work by an author, and those usually live within fiction. But character action and character dialogue are great ways to get to a theme. So Hidden Figures, your summer assignment, find a theme for that, and then come up with the techniques used to communicate that theme, and then a statement about how those connect. And then I think once you tell me how they connect, you have a thesis statement. And instead of an author, this movie was done by a director. And so the director, if it's ever a film, your director is your author. And so you may want to look up who the director is, the name of that director, so you can put that into your thesis statement. If you don't look it up, you can just say the director. The director uses certain tools to communicate the theme. And so take a shot at writing that thesis statement. You're going to have to write another one after this, but take a shot at writing that thesis statement. We will go over those on Tuesday. After you've written your Hidden Figures thesis statement, I want you to select a work of fiction that you've read either on your own time or you were assigned in high school, and I want you to do the same. First off, arrive at a theme. It doesn't have, a really good work of literature may have multiple themes. Find one that you can argue, that you can connect to the tools and the techniques that the author is using. So write that theme, write the techniques used to communicate it. Tell me how they connect. Again, a sentence or two. We're not looking for anything too, too long, for lack of a better word. And then write your thesis statement. And if you need to use a model for that, go back to, you can rewind and go back and look at the thesis I wrote out for Things Fall Apart, for Chinua Achebe's work. So yeah, I think, that is the last slide. So if you have any questions, message me in Canvas or shoot me an email. Thank you.